we're running. Okay, going back here. We saw that we were repeating ourselves in this for loop, which they're identical, but the only difference is that one is running through array 1 and the other one is running through array 2. So it will be ideal if we could somehow abstract the idea of looping through an array and console logging its elements into a piece that we could reuse, right? Into somehow package the for loop in a way that we could reuse it, only changing what array we want to loop through. And that, what I'm just describing, is called a function. So let's see. Again, that will allow us to do reuse our code, and we don't want to repeat ourselves. So let's look at, before we actually write the function that would allow us to loop through any array, let's look at the anatomy of a function. So, and maybe we could start writing that one here. So the first thing that we want to say is a new keyword that we haven't seen, which is a function keyword. And then followed after the function keyword, we want to say the name that we want to call this function. So what I want this function to do is to loop through an array and print. So maybe I'm going to call this function loop and print, right? So I gave it the name. The next thing, so again, function keyword, then the name that I want to use to recognize this function. After that, we have parentheses. We are not going to put anything in the parentheses yet. And very similar to the for loop, to the if statement, we have a body, or we have a code block that is the code that will live inside the function. And that is the curly brackets. So this is the simplest function we could write. It's a function called loop and print. And so far, because we don't have any statements in the body of the function, this function does nothing. Right, but so let's try to run this program. Let's see if anything changes to make sure. Nothing changed in the output of my program, right? So if we're just running a program, we wouldn't even know that a function exists there, right? Something I could do is, what if I try to do console.log, then the name of the function? Instead of trying to console log an array or a variable, I want to try to see if somehow console log lets me see what's inside of that. Now I run, and now I see something in the screen. I see function, loop, and print. So that's a good thing, which is, okay, at least I know that something called loop and print is holding a function. It's not undefined, right? Again, when we try to access a function, if we try to print something that is not defined, like cat, JavaScript breaks, saying cat is not defined. It's not that JavaScript breaks, it's that we make it fail. And then saying that it's not defined. But it didn't say that about loop and print because, well, this is called a function declaration. So do we remember how we do let a here? We're declaring the variable a. We're not assigning any value to the variable a. We're just declaring it. This will be a variable declaration. And then in here we have function declaration. We are declaring a function. That function still doesn't do anything, but let's make it do something. For the function to do anything, we want to add some code inside the body of the function. That is inside these curly brackets. So something that I could have it do is console.log. Right, the simplest thing that we could do is console.log hello world. Right. I think I removed where I was console logging the function. Loop and print. So let's run our program. Nothing should have changed. Right? We still see whatever code we had before, the output of that code. Let me just comment this out. And we only have one console log that is executing, which is this one. Right? This console log is just logging. I'm trying to console log a function. I don't really know how to convert a function to a string, so I'm just going to tell you that's a function, and it's called loop and print. Okay. So my function is still not doing anything. Well, at least I'm not seeing this in the screen. So that is because, well, we not only want to create the function or declare the function, we also want to call the function or invoke it. Those are two words that we're going to use interchangeably. Invoke or call the function. So once we call or invoke the function is when the function is actually going to do what we say it should do, which is inside the body of the function. So how do we invoke or call a function? We just say the name, loop, like when you're calling a person, you say the name of that person, right? And that's not enough. The next thing that we need to do is parentheses. The parenthesis is the thing that actually calls the function. If we leave it like that, let's leave it like that, nothing happens. We still got the same thing. We're just giving the name of the function, but to finalize or to truly invoke, we want to use the parentheses. Now, let's run our program again. Now we see hello world and the console log that we had before. So now, because I had declared a function, I made it, and then after that I invoked it so that it does what it has or what I intended it to do, which is again the body of the function. In this case, only line 18. We do that, and then we see hello world. And this is sort of like what Douglas was saying. Now this function has sort of become a mini program in itself that I can call whenever I want. And it has been kind of this encapsulated thing that I could call as many times as I want.